Hello everyone, it's Davide here and welcome back to Learning Finance. In today's video guys, let's do an overall stock market update, and it's been a couple of weeks since I did the last one. I haven't done it on the previous week simply because, well, the situation was quite similar to the week before. But in this week, actually, we have to take a look at some things because we have seen, for example, Tesla bouncing back from the important area that I told you about, Palantir finally breaking out the negative trend, and then also Chinese stocks are moving right now. So let's take a look at what's happening in the market. The only thing I ask you guys, as always, is please leave me another like. It's very important and I thank you for it. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new updates. Let's begin. Alright guys, so that's the Nasdaq. We can see that actually, if you remember this green box that I drew you over there a couple of weeks ago, now probably even 3 weeks ago, interesting as a bounce area, okay, for the Nasdaq to bounce. Let's see actually, because in my opinion, I still believe at this point that the worst data about inflation has already happened. Obviously, I can be completely wrong. Inflation can continue to go to the sky, but I think that with this thing about inflation, shortages, all that kind of stuff, maybe I can be wrong, but I have the feeling that the worst has gone. Also, together with what I am seeing, for example, on the T-bill, the Fed obviously controls that. They buy every month, but the problem is that if the market really feels inflation, the Fed, as of now, with what they are buying, is not able to contain the sell-off of the bonds. And we have seen that pretty clearly over there. The fact that right now we are seeing it just for a couple of months staying in this area, bouncing back from the 1.67 level and not doing crazy stuff at the moment, it makes me believe that probably inflation, shortages with commodities and things like that, well, probably the worst has gone. And now it doesn't mean that prices will start to decline, but I think that this kind of fear of hyperinflation and stuff like that were pushing tech stocks down, probably the worst is over. And let's take a look at Tesla. If you remember from previous videos, I pointed out how this green box was gonna be an important level for Tesla to bounce back off that. And that's basically what happened. We see Tesla touched 545. I told you how the more it gets near 500, in my opinion, the more it gets interesting. At the moment, it's still below the 50 moving average. However, I gotta be honest, I think that Tesla, obviously you know that I own the stock, so clearly I think that Tesla, in terms of a portfolio structure stock, is gonna be an interesting one in the coming years. Okay, I think that they will continue to do great. Also, all the incentives from the Biden administration on the green economy and green vehicles, all that kind of stuff, obviously will push Tesla's business forward in a positive way. But at the moment, I feel that Tesla is fairly valid, okay? As long as it stays near 600, in my opinion, that's an acceptable price by the market. So I don't really see Tesla like skyrocketing as of now. I think that what we have seen so far, right? So from 2019, this huge boom of Tesla, well, I expect that from now on, Tesla will continue to do some sideways and then continue to grow as the business grows. In my opinion, I remain the same ideas that Tesla near 500 is decently priced, very interesting to add some more if you want. But my opinion, Tesla starts to be undervalued below 450, 460 in terms of fundamental analysis. Above 700, well, you are starting to price a bit more in terms of percentage of the bull case scenario, which, if you remember, is around 850 as a fair price, obviously from my model. Okay, so as long as 600 it's in between. In my opinion, this area over there can be something where Tesla can spend a bit of time and then do great as the business grows. Being patient and actually let Tesla do what they have to do to grow the business. Obviously, it's a hold, and if the stock drops near 500 or even better below, I will add some more. Then Palantir stock, Palantir Technology, which finally it broke above that level, this downtrend line over there, which pushed the price lower and lower in the last few months. Actually, if you remember, if you follow the channel, you know that I told you how the area between the $17, basically below 20, in my opinion, was the right price to buy the stock. It's what I've done. Anyway, on that one as well, I'm confident about the long term of this company, but as of now, I do not have like expectations of this stock exploding anywhere soon. Okay, so in my opinion, it's a company that it's brilliant. They have a software and products which is brilliant, but it will take time, okay? So it will take some time. The company needs to continue to develop. They're investing a lot in research and development. They just need time to create the market that they are trying to create. I think that they are one of the best over there, if not the best in terms of what they offer. There is not anyone who has the same products, also because of how the government continues to do more and more contracts with Palantir. It means that they like the stuff and they are not able to find someone else. Okay, so that's a positive sign. I will obviously continue to remain hold. We see that as of now the stock broke above that and today confirmed. Okay, so it tried to push back lower but it got rejected, so that's a positive sign. Well, I've already bought my position, basically almost my entire position over there. I'm planning to continue to add some more if actually I get a pullback over there, or anyway, as long as I continue to learn and read more about the company. So that one is going to be a decent position in my portfolio. Now, if you want to see actually my bull case on that with the scalability effect on Palantir, I made a video last week where you can actually understand in terms of fundamental analysis what the company needs to really grow into hundreds of billions of dollars valuation. Okay, so I will continue obviously to follow the stock, follow the company, see what they do, see what they say, especially in terms of scaling their business with Foundry. Then guys, Alibaba, which if you follow the channel, well, this trend line was going to be important for Alibaba to keep the trend, or at least try to keep the trend. And well, today we see that as of now, Alibaba is trying to keep this long-term trend, which is lasting since 2019. The 200 level has been very strong in terms of support. The stock over there is still extremely cheap, extremely undervalued. But today we are seeing a bit of green actually on all Chinese stocks. It came out, the factory activity in China and in May is continuing to grow, beat expectations, so the Chinese economy is pushing forward. Today we see some green finally also on Chinese stocks. Now the next important level would be, first of all, this all of that, okay, which has been the average trading price that Alibaba traded from basically the last few months, around the 227, 230. We also have the 50 moving average over there. A very key, important, strong signal for Alibaba would be to break above that. Okay, so all above that, the 50, the average fair price over there, and the negative trend. But if Alibaba will break the negative trend, who keeps the stock down since October 2020, it will be massive. Okay, probably a first signal of this downtrend pain finally coming to a possible end for the Chinese giant. JD.com as well, some green, some positivity today as well. We touched a low of $66 per share. Today is trying to bounce above the 50 moving average. Obviously the 71 level over here has been a support before, now is going to be a resistance. But anyway, positive stuff. We see how the negative trend actually was very steep at the beginning, but then now it's trying to at least fade away a little bit. Okay, even though if we have a rejection over there, but the important stuff is to remain inside this in terms of negativity. Okay, now if we go above that, it's fine, but remain above the $73. Okay, so that this will be a bottom, and now the stock can continue to, well, reach the fair price, because in my opinion the fair price on this is at least $100 in terms of fundamental analysis. Okay, so I'm happy to see finally some green on that one too. Then here we have Square, which bounced actually from the 200 level as I expected. I told you how important the 200 level is. Now it's trying to get back to actually the fair price, which I told you it is around 230. However, guys, I gotta be honest, on Square I expect the next earnings to be a little bit volatile. Okay, why is that? Well, because crypto collapsed this month, so May has been one of the worst, and we know how for Square the Bitcoin business is important in terms of revenue. If the Bitcoin bull market actually is gonna go on pause for a bit, well, I expect also Bitcoin in terms of business part for Square will suffer a little bit. Okay, so maybe investors can be scared if their numbers drops too much, even though we know that in terms of actual earnings, in terms of margins, that doesn't change much. Okay, but you know, investors, the first thing that they watch is the total number, total revenues, and then they go on and look at all the stuff. So I think that, well, let's pay attention. If crypto market continues to stay flat for a bit, well, I think that stuff like Square can have a little bit of volatility in the coming earnings. Anyway, obviously I remain hold on this one as well. I'm okay with my position. I do not want to add anymore at these prices, but I will obviously continue to keep an eye on that. Then guys, today I want to give also an update on my craziest stock that I have in my portfolio. I talked to you about Vuzix, okay, if you go on and check previous videos. However, the thing that I want to point out is that Vuzix, it's a small part of my portfolio which is very speculative. I want to really stress out on the risk involved in this. Okay, so this is not an Alibaba, this is not a Tesla, this is a very risky stock with a high risk, high reward stock. It's a stock in the augmented reality business, especially smart glasses for enterprises and hospitals and stuff like that, because I am kind of bullish, okay, on the augmented reality trend for the next 5/10 years. With the 5G coming on, I see this trend of augmented reality, smart glasses, and virtual reality. Okay, so I also hold Facebook really booming in the coming decade. That's what I am thinking of, so that's why I'm actually holding Vuzix. My average enterprise is around $15.60. We see that the stock has actually been beaten down with the inflation stuff, the Nasdaq pulling back. Obviously, this kind of stock, if the Nasdaq goes down 5%, this goes down 30%, okay? So the volatility is extreme, the risk is very high. That's a company that as of now is pricing the future. In terms of today's revenue, it doesn't make sense, that particular market cap of around 1 billion. But, well, if that kind of trend is gonna continue to grow as it seems, I think that Vuzix is well positioned. As of now, we see that the stock found a bottom around $13 as it did over there, and is now trying to push back. The next important level for the stock to pass will be the $20 mark over there. Okay, so it happened as a strong support before, and now will obviously be our resistance. Let's see if the stock will be able to break above that. Overall, guys, I think that for now on, from tech, the most important thing will be inflation. Probably we have seen the worst data ever, and if that stuff will continue to be back down, I think that tech will continue to be a very interesting investment that will outperform other stuffs, okay? Because we cannot actually make money right now buying, for example, airplanes, stocks, and hotels and that kind of stuff, in my opinion, considering also the huge amount of debt that those companies have and the very low growth that they have in their businesses. So anyway, I hope you find the video interesting, guys, and leave me a comment below. Tell me, what do you think about that? Subscribe to the channel if you want, and as always, guys, have a wonderful day.